All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to This Explainer, where we're going to unpack a truly fascinating piece of writing by Alexander Maistrovoy. He takes us deep into the ancient teachings of Gnosticism, and we're going to see exactly how this philosophy presents a radical and honestly quite shocking departure from mainstream religious views. So if you think you've got a handle on how belief systems structure the universe, well, prepare to have those assumptions totally turned upside down.
We have to start with the ultimate philosophical hook, right? How do we justify human suffering? It's a heavy question, but pretty much every belief system on the planet takes a swing at solving this problem of adversity. I mean, why do bad things happen? How are we supposed to make sense of the pain, the inequality, and the tragedy we see every day? People have literally spent millennia trying to build frameworks just to answer that one question.
To get our bearings, let's look at how the major world religions traditionally frame and justify these earthly miseries. As Maistrovoy points out, it's about building a baseline. Buddhists, for instance, might look at suffering as a result of our excessive attachment to life. Jews and Muslims often frame earthly woes within a higher divine necessity, a grander plan that we just might not understand yet. Christians traditionally seek salvation in the afterworld, looking past the current suffering to a future reward. And Hindus might explain life's miseries through karma, the unavoidable, sometimes merciless consequences of past actions. They all offer a reason or a path that makes suffering part of a functioning, deliberate system.
And hey, it's not just ancient religions doing this. Modern secular ideologies do the exact same thing. They promise a heaven on earth, claiming we can finally achieve peace and justice if we just destroy a class enemy or establish global democracy. Even ancient philosophers like Plato gave us the concept of a demiurge, which is basically a divine artisan or cosmic builder who comes across as a just and righteous creator. Throughout history, humanity is constantly, desperately looking for a way to make the creator or the system inherently good and rational.
But here's where the script totally flips. Maistrovoy writes, "I was shocked that Gnostics overthrew the creator from the pedestal." So the absolute game changer here is that Gnosticism doesn't just offer you a different flavor of comfort. No, it completely shatters those comforting frameworks. It looks at the universe and reaches a staggering conclusion that radically contradicts every single one of those belief systems we just talked about.
Overthrowing the creator, the radical Gnostic departure. Let's look at exactly how this philosophy subverts the whole idea of the universe's architect. Okay, we need to untangle two concepts here that are almost always combined in other traditions. On one side, you've got the true God. This is described as a light of inconceivable depth, infinite, eternal, and completely unknowable to our human senses. But on the other side, you have the creator of our physical universe. And Gnosticism says the creator is emphatically not the true God. Instead, they view the creator as ignorant, conceited, and honestly, just a pitiful shadow.
Let's zoom in on the attributes of this material creator because it gets pretty wild. The Gnostics didn't view this figure as a benevolent caretaker at all. To them, he was an ignorant and conceited craftsman. The pure dualists, the folks who see the universe as a strict black and white battleground between a purely good spiritual realm and a purely evil material one, even calls him avaricious and cunning. He's a pompous, vain craftsman ruling a world of war and darkness. Think about how shocking that is, to look at the architect of reality and see, well, a misguided, flawed tradesman instead of a loving father. Maistrovoy uses this brilliant, vivid phrasing to highlight the depth of that disdain. He calls the creator an absurd caricature of an inconceivable spirituality. The source text actually goes so far as to describe this entity as a miscarriage, basically an accident that resulted from some dramatic collisions in the higher spheres. It is such a harsh, unflinching assessment. It just totally strips away all that reverence we usually reserve for the maker of the universe. It treats him more like an incompetent contractor who built a faulty, leaky house.
The material prison, a parody of the divine. Because, think about it, if the creator is fundamentally flawed, what does that mean for the creation itself?
Well, in this strictly dualist view, our cosmos, the material realm, is seen as alien, repugnant. It's essentially viewed as a torture chamber run by demons. Meanwhile, way up there, completely separated from us, are the ultra-mundane higher spheres, where true light, peace, and harmony actually exist. So our world isn't some sort of testing ground or a beautiful, lush garden. No, it is a vicious, abominable parody of that higher reality.
So the takeaway here is how Gnostics viewed our very physical existence. The cosmos, matter, your own human flesh, they're all seen as fundamentally evil and completely incompatible with the divine spirit.
The text points out that in this worldview, claiming that the physical flesh has any direct relation to the infinite, unknowable God, that's the mark of cowards, prudes, and bores. It's incredibly dark, intense imagery, right? It paints the entire physical world not as a gift, but as a trap.
The divine spark, humanity's hidden hope. Now, right when things look incredibly bleak, there is this sudden, amazing revelation.
Where do we fit into all this? Well, humankind is described as an absurd, suffering creation, basically doomed and born from the Creator's madness or ruses. But, and this is a massive but that changes the whole equation, we simultaneously carry a particle of divine light. So despite being trapped in a flawed body inside a flawed universe, humankind secretly contains something incredibly profound and sacred buried deep inside.
Let's define exactly what that is. Pneuma. This is that particle of divine light we just mentioned. The concept actually has roots in Stoic thought, but Gnosticism takes it and gives it this incredibly powerful new meaning. It is the internal divine spark that somehow survives the material prison. It's literally a piece of the true, unknowable God that got trapped in the flawed craftsman's world, and it resides right inside of you.
Which smoothly unlocks our next critical definition, gnosis. Now, gnosis isn't just data or reading books or academic learning. It is genuinely divine knowledge. It's the activating insight that bridges the pneuma, that spark inside you, to the unknowable God way out beyond. Gnosis is what helps humans grasp the true essence of the world and their actual place within it. It's like the realization of the trap and the key to the prison cell, all at exactly the same time.
And that brings us to Nestrovoy's final, pretty striking conclusion. He writes, "And this is the most accurate and realistic perception of the world and a person that I ever knew." So, after outlining this radical, dualistic, and often really harsh philosophy, he fully endorses its realism regarding the human condition. For him, the Gnostic framework, where the world is this chaotic, flawed mess, but human beings possess an undeniable inner divine spark, well, it just explains reality better than any other system he's come across.
So, this leaves us with a pretty provocative question. If the material world is merely a flawed construct, a parody built by an ignorant creator, what hidden divine knowledge might lie dormant within you? It's a fascinating thought experiment that turns this ancient philosophy directly inward. We've seen how Gnosticism turns conventional theology completely upside down, challenging us to look way past the physical world for ultimate truth. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope diving into these concepts sparked some curiosity for you to go out and explore them even further.